I want to talk a bit about Barron Trump, the little kid who he's like the youngest member of the Trump brood. There, look at this kid. Now, there was a Saturday Night Live writer who tweeted that he's going to be the first homeschooled shooter, and everyone got pissed off, and they said it's not fair. You shouldn't be picking on somebody's kids. And okay,
minor children. He's a 10-year-old boy.
Yes, he's a 10-year-old boy, and I agree with that in principle. Keep in mind, though, that Donald Trump has shown no limits at all in who or what he talks about. So I can understand somebody thinking it was fair game. That's not a fair comment to make that he's going to be a shooter, because everyone knows a guy with that much money, he hires somebody. Yes.
What do you mean you agree with that in principle? Because that implies you don't agree with it entirely.
What?
What does it mean you agree with it in principle as opposed to not agreeing with it entirely?
Well, I think that you can make fun of some kids of the president, because some of them are adults and they deserve it. It's just if they're children, no, they don't,
He's a
Okay, here's the thing.
kid.
Here's the thing I'm concerned about with Barron Trump, okay? Can we see some pictures? There is reason to be concerned. Show the pictures now. Look at the kid. Just in every picture, he looks miserable. Look at that. You ever seen a sadder kid in your life? He looks like the kid who's constantly beat up at school, but he doesn't even go to school. And I thought about it and thought maybe he inherited his inability to move his face from his mother's Botox. Yeah, and then, yes, what?
In fairness, this is the pictures the media releases of the kid. He may not be like this all the time. This is just the ones they thought had sizzle.
I looked in the pictures for him. You make a good point. I looked for pictures of him. I couldn't find any with him smiling. None. The kid just looks miserable. And then I realized why.
What kid wants to do boring, state function campaign nonsense? He wants to be playing Pokemon Go with a side of, Smash Brothers. He doesn't want to be doing this.
Poor kid. He doesn't get to do kid things. He's only a frickin' multi-millionaire or a multi-billionaire. You could put a smile on when your dad's going to be president, for crying out loud. Looks like a bit of a spoiled brat. But here I realized eventually why it is he looks miserable. Can we show that next picture? This is what he has to look forward to growing up into. Brutal. 3 sacks of shit.
Brutal.
Look at those two. Look at his 2 brothers. Look at them posing with the animals that they killed. And Trump says that it's okay because what they do is they take the kills and they give it to local villages to eat. What year what do you think, all of Africa's a 1930s Tarzan movie? They're dancing on, oh, leopard come, oh, go, 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 oh, go, go. They don't eat leopard, they eat food.
Do they
they eat actual foodstuffs.
To be clear, though, people still shouldn't make fun of 10-year-old kids. Even in reference, even if your father's the president, it was wrong when they did to Chelsea Clinton when she was 12. It was wrong when they did it to Malia Obama when she was 15.
Well, here's the thing.
It's wrong to do it to 10-year-old.
I don't think it's making fun of him to point out that he never smiles.
No, but
that's not making fun. The comment about him being a shooter, that crosses the line.
School
but
shooting.
Pointing out that he looks miserable. What's wrong with that?
It's one of these things where if it was on a late night show and it was a context where it was intended to be offensive, like if they did it on Family Guy, for instance, I think it would have been differently received. But it was on Twitter where there's no context, there's no tone of voice, there's no ability to groan after the fact. It was the wrong venue to make an off-color joke like that.
Wait a second, let me understand this. You believe that Twitter is not the place to make off-color comments? Have you ever been on Twitter?